start with Stephen Zagrabelny with these questions I'm going to group. How would you communicate that there really is enough money available in public education and get more more citizens understand the fiscal crisis of public schools is one of the, it's kind of a part A and part B. Part B is how do you propose to balance the budget in the future while preserving educational programs, and what sources of revenue do you anticipate the board having to tap into?
So the two questions being, in this sort of fiscally constrained time, how do we plan to balance the budget? And then the second one would be, what types of revenues do we see ourselves tapping into?
Right. Yeah, that's pretty much.
And it's 1 minute?
Yeah.
Started a minute ago,
It
Steve.
started
That question got lost in there.
I think over the years, we have done a great job in putting our priorities together and making decisions about what is really important to the core, K-12 outcome in education. And as far as identifying all of the revenues that we can identify, I think we put it's in who we decided to put our trust in, and having somebody like Paul Blowers and somebody like Brian Russ developing our budgets and managing our expenses over the years ensures that we have identified all of the sources of revenue that we can find. And I'll just say that the choices are difficult, but every year that we've cut, statistics have shown we've become a better district. And so I think we're making the right choices, and I think we'll continue to do that, even as I think finances will be will improve in the future.
To piggyback off of what Steve said, a good portion of it depends on our leadership. So certainly Brian and Paul Blowers, our business manager. We also need to rely on the expertise of our administrators to tell us what's important in their building and help us to prioritize. So it's certainly a team effort to balance the budget. Nobody can do it on their own, and we certainly can't do it alone at the board table. This year I think we did a very good job of listening to the administrators and balancing that with the goals that we had set going into the budget process. Sources of revenue, we looked under a lot of couch cushions this year, and I'm sure we'll do so going forward because the prognosis isn't good for the very near future either. But with the creativity and again the team effort, we'll keep looking wherever we can.
As far as the budget goes, I think, and this board, I have to agree, this board has taken lemons and they've made lemonade. They've done the best job that they could do with what they have. The biggest problems that we have are the gap elimination adjustment and the way that the foundation aid is passed out. If we don't, as a community, and I mean as a community, and if we have to go out and if we have to go door to door to explain these two items that have shorted us by the last board session, right here, it was put out with a slide by the superintendent and Paul Blowers. We've been shorted $21 million in aid to this school district over the last 8 years. 5 years of the gap elimination and 8 years with the foundation aid formula. It's not going to get any better. We are taking our fund balances and we are running our reserves down. I have newspaper articles, if anybody wants to look at them afterwards, from Holland, from Lackawanna, from everybody that has said that they're in the same problem with slightly different issues. 59.4% or 54.9% of our tax levy goes to our budget. The other larger school districts, only about 20 to 30% go. We have a small school district here and a lot of problems with the budget because of it. Excuse me.
Well, I'd like to start by echoing what Steve and Jessica said about the fact that you can't do this alone. No one board member is going to solve a problem like this, and so we're very fortunate to have a very dedicated administrative staff who have worked hard to help us to live within our means. And at the same time, we do some lobbying in an effort to try to address some of the issues that Mr. Kane just brought up. But there are 4 things that are happening that are good signs. So instead of saying, oh, doom and gloom, things are going to get worse, there are 4 ways that things are going to get better. So I think it's hopeful. One is that pension costs have topped out. If you look at the website of the New York State Teachers Pension System, you will find that the amount that they're charging us for next year is the maximum, and that they expect it to begin to decline the following year. Good sign. Good sign. Secondly, we have been having discussions with our bargaining units about the cost of health insurance, and we have some very productive discussions going on to help reduce those costs significantly. And I'm hopeful that those will reach fruition and that we will see significant savings in that area. Thirdly, the legislature, there's a third and a fourth one. I'll tell you later when I have more time.
How are we going to balance the budget and get more revenue? At the end of the day, we need to treat our budget as the constraints that we live within. So we have tax cap, we have not a lot of control of the funds coming in through sales tax, through state funds. We need to find a way to live within the means that we're given. It's like when you balance your family budget. We need to find the things that are the biggest bang for the buck and prioritize those things. And try to retain the excellence of the school, but trim little places here and there. That's what we really need to do. We need to do a hard look at expenses, at things that we can cut a little things out. Much more aggressive work on cutting back of busing that is not necessary or could be done more efficiently. Much more aggressive look at BOCES services and what really makes sense and what is nice to have, while still retaining the excellence of the school that we have.